How about now? Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. All right. Well, all right. Now we can get airborne. Good morning. Weekly options, a lot to cover. Jerome Powell actually telling the truth for once, that he probably is going to overshoot. So they've been wrong for years, lying to us, whatever you want to say. But this morning he just said in a central bank conference that, yeah, there's a good chance that we kind of overshoot. So, which isn't good news. I threw this up in solo Amazon on Monday because this is exactly where we are, man. This is a you are here moment. This is exactly where we are. We still haven't seen this. We still haven't seen this. We haven't seen capitulation or despair yet. Good article by Rabo the other day saying people still kind of wandering around this desert right now going, where's Jerome and the Fed? When are they going to stop and kind of get back to what the job is, which is QE and lowering interest rates. So it's really funny. We're hanging up here, right? We're hanging, waiting for that. So it's really interesting that still, people who aren't at TGO haven't rolled inverted. They haven't rolled inverted and looked at the market and the trend, and they still just think this is a little blip on the radar. The Dow has had its worst month since March of 2020. Anybody remember what was happening in March of 2020? I do, because we predicted it. And then I also remember what happened in March of 2020 because it wasn't hard to predict the bottom because Jerome Powell called it. March, whatever it was. It was a Thursday morning with the weekly options number, or weekly jobless claims. 6 million or something like that. I was like, oh my God, getting ready to press enter on the most bearish trade of my life. And Jerome Powell's like, boom, financial nuke. I'm like, all right, now I'm bullish. That's the benefit of being an options trader is you can go from bullish to bearish in the blink of an eye. All right. Hey, last or most recent podcast just dropped, episode 30. Make sure you watch it. And watch it, listen to it. We are doing camera ones now, but this one, the camera wasn't working. So if you drop a review, send a screenshot of it to me and I'll send you a book. Let me know which book you want, because we got two of them. So you can drop a review. You got to be a booger eater, man. You got to be on Apple. Unfortunately, I made the switch, guys. Can't stand this iPhone, to be honest with you. The voice texting on the Android was awesome. Understood every word I said. This thing, can't stand this iPhone. But I can AirDrop now. Yay. I've been ignoring the January 6th stuff just because it's a show trial, right? It's a kangaroo court. There are no Republicans on there. Liz Cheney's on there with Adam, whatever his name is. They're not Republicans. They're rhinos, and they weren't picked. Any select committee, the Democrats are allowed to choose the members they want on it, and the Republicans are allowed to choose theirs. Nancy Mussolini Pelosi did not allow that. You can't pick what Republicans are going to be on this thing because then it would be independent. But that lady yesterday, whatever her name is, you want to talk about, she didn't even get the 15 minutes of fame. She sat there and Donald Trump in the limo tried to assault. He assaulted a Secret Service agent and tried to grab the steering wheel. And so this chick, and I'll use that word, she applied to work in Mar-a-Lago on the way out and they said no. So she's pissed. She wasn't in the limo. She's just whatever. Did you see what happened after her testimony? Because, of course, every media outlet ran with it. He needs to be charged with assault and all sorts of shit like that. And then within minutes, the two Secret Service agents who were there in the vehicle are like, that's a lie and we'll testify under oath. The fact that our our media took what she said and ran with it without any hint of asking a question or a little bit of skepticism, ran with it. Took what she said as fact. So either the Secret Service agents are lying or will lie under oath, or she did. And apparently, where's AOC? These justices lied under oath and they should be impeached. Okay, let's go through that process if you want to do this, because I want her charged with perjury. Under oath doesn't mean shit anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It's clear. James Clapper, that piece of shit CIA head, lied under oath. Is the CIA now or ever like spied on Americans electronically? Nope. Months later, CIA spying on Americans. You're allowed to lie under oath, folks. Unless you're General Flynn with 2 FBI agents who kind of entrap you into a lie, and then, we destroy your life. It's physically, and I love all this stuff. I sit here and watch the History Channel or Smithsonian. I watch the Secret Service stuff and Air Force One and the Beast. It's physically impossible. Actually, I think the Beast, the drivers are in a separate compartment, like literally the oxygen system and everything like that. You can't get to the front seat. This is the country we live in, though, folks. This is why, and you'll listen to this in this episode, every drop of blood. Hey, man, and I won't take too much time on this because we got other stuff to talk about. But we're hurtling at breakneck speed to a civil war, or just we're not coming back from this, man. So. Yeah, no, exactly, Mark. Here's the problem with this. She was saying secondhand, well, I heard from this person that Trump did all of this stuff. If this were a true independent committee, the Republicans would have been like, are you fucking high? So she can swear under oath that this person said that this happened, but it didn't. So it's incredible. Exactly. It would have never. Somebody had a great post yesterday. It was like, thank God, having this show trial is awesome because it actually does show you that our legal system, for all its flaws, fucking works pretty damn well. Because if you were on trial for real, if that were a real trial, none of this would be happening. Mark's right. The judge would be like, this is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard, and none of it's allowed. But for the cameras, so this is why they did emergency. We're supposed to be on 4th of July break, but I'm calling everybody back because we have some damning testimony. But it doesn't matter, folks, because stupid people saw that and they're running with it. Even this morning, even with the Secret Service guys going, didn't happen, I'll testify under oath. No, well, now they're lying. 2 Secret Service agents who I'd trust with my life, or a jilted chick that didn't get to work at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, I wonder who I'm going to believe. So anyway, how many of you made $4,000 yesterday in about an hour? How many of you are in the PLTV and put on the SPX bear put spread? Making $4,000 in an hour was pretty damn awesome. If you put the trade on as I was talking about it, you made about $4,500 to $5,000. That's what we do here, man. I didn't have the margin in my account because I did my hood and my Mara bullshit. Mara down to $5, folks. $5. Complete fucking moron with Mara. Me. One of the worst trades of my life. You can put that on my tombstone, baby. Look at that. Can't hold my beer. I'm with you, man. You're welcome, Joe. Mike got 6K for the day. Look at you guys. Nice job, Mark. Well done, folks. Congratulations, man. I like that. I would get out of it today. I wrote that in the Max Afterburner. I'm like, get out of it today and get ready to reload. I told you, copy and paste what happened. We'll talk about it in a second. Folks, if you can make $4,000, which was what, like whatever percent in an hour, get out of it and then reload. I'd be reloading right now. Hold on. So, you know, we talked about the chop yesterday, folks. You're going to have an opportunity to do it. So, and you can, you know, you can keep reloading it. So, Mike, the reason I'm still, I mean, why wouldn't I still, and I like your use of the word play because that's exactly what this is. I mean, I've gotten destroyed, lost about 50 grand in it. So why wouldn't I sit here and just keep selling calls against it? Once those calls, once the stock gets called away, I'm going to leave, but it makes no sense to get out of it right now. I'll just sit here and sell at the money calls against it and keep making $300-400 a week. And then when it gets called away, I'll ignore it for the rest of my life. So, if you actually own shares, folks, unfortunately, like I do, why wouldn't you just sit there and keep whatever? So that's what I'm doing. I'll keep selling at the money calls, and then once it gets called away, I will put that on my list of the dumbest things I've ever done. But talking about Mara, guys, you guys saw this live a year and a half ago in one of my accounts. I was going to do what? I opened thank God. God is awesome. Coinbase or whatever. I marked all their emails as spam and shit like that. But remember, I opened a Coinbase account or whatever the fuck it was. I was either gonna, I can go back and watch the recordings. I forget. It was either going to be $250,000 or $500,000. Me, real money. I was going to put into Bitcoin. You guys remember that? I fucking do. So I'll take my Mara mistake. I'm proud of my Mara mistake. That 500 grand would be worth about 150 today. You want to talk about smart? That was me. Was it 250? Thanks, Frank. Thank God. The 250 would be 75 grand. So Mara is pleasurable to me compared to what I was going to do with Bitcoin. Thank God. The hair on the back of my neck was like, yeah. And it was crowd. It was tulip. I was calling it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm not. I listened to myself. I'm like, this ain't drinking money for Wiz. That was going to be like, at that point, probably 25% of my portfolio. You need 25% of your portfolio in crypto. I'm like, I think it's a Ponzi scheme. And then what happened? Thank God I had problems opening the account. I'm like, I want to trade this through my LLC. Well, there's 90 emails and you need to do whatever. I'm like, that's perfect because I'm not going to do any of that. And I didn't. So I was like, thank God. You got it, kid. That's exactly what I did. I bought another jet, which has doubled in price. The second L39 I bought has now doubled in price at a minimum. Why? Because I got a call. Anyway, let's go ahead and get airborne. This is great news. This will really cool down tensions in Europe, won't it? U.S. to ramp up military presence in Europe. Finland and Sweden are going to join NATO. Blah, blah, fill in the blank. Exactly, Andrew. Crypto, no CEO, no earnings, no dividend, no anything. It's a store of value, wrong. It's a hedge against inflation, wrong. It's a currency, wrong. L39, a lot of fucking fun. Where's JG? I thought JG was going to die. His wife did too when we were in the ready room after he was hacking and coughing. I'm like, oh shit. JG's the last TGO member I take flying because he almost died. There he is. So this is not good news, folks. I don't care what you think about Putin and what he did. It's wrong, obviously, but the main reason he did what he did, which was wrong and illegal, fill in the blanks, I'm not a Putin plant, is expanding NATO right up to his door. I want to do it again. So this does not cool down tensions. It doesn't do anything. So Russia, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at this militarily. Lightning strike. Let's get to Kyiv. Zelensky, we have intel that the Navy SEALs are going to fly him out, and he's going to leave. It didn't happen. So saying that it didn't happen, is a victory isn't correct, right? So what did Russia do instead? We're going to tactically pull back, consolidate, and just grind. We're going to turn eastern Ukraine into a fucking meat grinder. We're just going to kill artillery, and just keep pressing forward. The Russian military, folks, and Russia itself is not Ukraine or us. What do I mean by that? Just like Muslims, folks, and the radical Islamic people. The reason they commit suicide bombings is because, first of all, they're ordered to, but they're also nuts. So while we value human life, right, they don't. Oh my God, we accidentally drone strike whatever. We want to die. We accidentally kill civilians, and it's like we've actually lost people because of shit. Well, no, we can't do that because we might even hurt one civilian, but all our guys are going to die. Well, that's the price because we're Americans. Russia, let's launch some guided missiles into malls in Kyiv or wherever that was while they're having a NATO summit. Do you think that wasn't planned? Do you think the backfire crews just got airborne and said, all right, fire? Or did somebody go, well, they're meeting to talk about NATO membership, launch a couple guided cruise missiles into a mall? Oh, the price caps on oil. I mean, this is getting funnier. So Graham's right, folks. We are making Russia is making a shitload of money with oil up this high. So anyway, well, you know what, Werner? This is how I would end this, folks. I would say to Russia, you can join NATO. Ukraine, we're not putting in NATO. Russia, you can join NATO because if Ukraine attacks you, we'll defend you. How about we do something like that? If Vladimir Putin was really worried about Ukraine or whatever, I'd invite Vladimir. I told you this on day one, guys. Before he invaded, I'm like, if he's really worried about Ukraine, we'll say Ukraine's not going to join NATO, you are. And if Ukraine ever moved against you, we'll defend you. Yeah, exactly. Why don't we start thinking outside the box, folks? Ken, that's not a red team. That's the truth. Folks, Vladimir, I studied the man. The adversary officer in my squadron. I've read the fucking books, folks. I know Soviet doctrine. Vladimir Putin said what? The collapse of the Soviet Union was the biggest tragedy of the 20th century or whatever. His speeches lately, his economic speech the other day, he thinks he's Peter the Great Part 2. Ukraine, all these other places we own them. Historically, we've owned them. So let's go get them back. Yeah, this is exactly what he's saying, folks. But instead of kind of cooling down the temp, why don't we take a fucking break, folks? We know that's what he wants to do. He wasn't doing it, folks. He did in 2008 Georgia, and George H. Koch Bush didn't do anything because of his Iraq shit show. So let me get this straight. When we invade a country like Iraq, it's yay, we're right because it's us. Like Stephen Colbert's comedian crew. Our breaking into the Capitol is okay because we're good people. You breaking into the Capitol is an insurrection. Russia invading Ukraine is awful. Us invading Iraq is morally just. It was. The 100,000 civilian Iraqis that we killed probably beg to differ. So here's what I'm getting at, folks. Why don't we kind of take a fucking break? Instead of putting more NATO up to his door, how about we go meet somewhere? You know me, I'd hop on Air Force, it would be Navy One. I'd hop on Navy One and fly to Moscow and be like, you shoot me down, then great. I'm landing in Moscow and we're going to do fucking lunch, dude. Let's stop killing. Not one person has said to do that other than the Pope. Why are we doing this? Now, if you land in Moscow and do lunch with Vlad, he's like, I appreciate the lunch, Wiz, go fuck yourself. Then before I get on the plane, I'm like, now you got problems. I'm the man who wants to be left alone. If you're not going to leave me alone, I'm going to knock your fucking teeth out. But at least we tried. Somebody tell me what's wrong with that approach. Taking a break, and at the same time, we can funnel more weapons to Ukraine during a ceasefire to make all the war with the people who really, really want to die. So, Werner, I couldn't disagree more. I could not disagree more. You back. So why aren't we listening to what these men and women are saying? SecDef, Secretary of State, foreign media, Putin himself, just about everybody in Russia is looking around going, are you not listening to us? We'll use tactical nukes if we have to. And we've been warning you. Somebody tell me, are they bluffing? Or are all the books that I've read on Soviet doctrine that says, you know what, we think we can win a nuclear war? I don't want to spend too much time on this, guys, or drop anchor, but this does not lower the temperature in the room, and it increases the odds for conflict. Does anybody think now that Finland and Sweden are joining NATO, Vladimir Putin goes, oh, shit, well, now you got me. Now I'm going to go back and pull back to my borders. Now you really got me. Sorry. Are we fucking stupid? Use your brain. Does this lower the temperature in the room or raise it? You're dealing with a nuclear power, folks. My God. So, anyway, it's just, it does. It does. The legendary fit. It does not lower the temperature in the room. It makes conflict in Europe higher. So this is bad. This is going to get worse, and didn't you already have some GOP dudes of the Senate visiting Putin on 4th July 2017? That time the topic was how to take down. GOP dudes visited Putin on July 4th, 2017 to take down the USA democracy. I have no idea what you're talking about, Werner. I'd love to see some evidence with your tinfoil hat. That sounds great. I'm sure the GOP wants to take down democracy in this country with the help of Vladimir Putin. That sounds like a very well thought out and cogent argument. China stocks outperform on unexpected COVID shift. Unexpected COVID shift? I'm pretty sure we talked about this and said they're not going to stay locked down forever. They can't. They're either going to have a revolution or their economy is going to implode. When COVID gets so painful, they give up. So General Flynn was at the round table sitting beside Putin. Okay. That's the meeting when General Flynn talked to Putin about ending democracy in this country? Or, Werner, are you talking about the famous clip of Barack Hussein Obama talking to the Russian president, Medvedev, who whispered, even though it was recorded on tape, like, hey, man, just wait until after the election. I'm going to have a hell of a lot more flexibility. Do you remember that famous thing that you really don't see played too much on TV? China stocks. I'm not dipping my toe in there on them. I know we're in weekly options, but take a look at this. No, Eric, there was a meeting. Yeah, General Flynn, after Donald Trump was elected, General Flynn legally, folks, when you're transitioning, when you're the new team coming in, you go do what your job's going to be. You don't sit there on your hands until like Edward Matthew Buckley do some, and then put your hand down, and then everybody goes to work in the new administration. No, you actually go do your freaking job. So the future national security advisor was talking to the Russians. That's his job. Every administration does it, but whatever. FXI, folks, we haven't talked about this in a while. The last time we talked about it was right around back here, months ago. I said what? If you're looking at some lotto tickets, FXI might be the way to go. So, you know, we traded the shit out of FXI. The best time to trade FXI was during the Trump trade wars, man. That was like shooting fish in a barrel. Remember those swings, and we have a deal? Do you remember that the agreement signed? It was one of the most narcissist sociopath events I've ever seen in my life with Donald Trump. When he had like those 5 Chinese dudes in the East Room or whatever it is, with the band, and Trump went around for like an hour, General Electric and Ken Griffin or who, Trump did the biggest victory lap. Those dudes thought they were just going there for like a 5-minute signing ceremony, and it turned they don't speak a lick of English, and they stood there for an hour on stage as Trump went around the room. And it was like that video of Saddam Hussein with the bath party in that big theater or whatever, and he just sat up there and kind of laughed as he pointed out each dude, and the guards came and took the guys out and executed them. Awful. If you're looking for a lotto play, it's FXI. When China sneezes, the world catches a cold. When China releases a weaponized virus, the world dies. But if you believe in a global rebound, China, from Nike to Starbucks to whatever, I look at long-term calls on FXI. Now that they're kind of unlocking from their COVID nightmare, take a look at these 35, 36s. This is more of an AR discussion, but the headlines that they're coming. Look at that. Look at this 40 strike. 2 years out into the future, folks. The 40 strike, 10, 20% higher from where we are. Write this down on your bullish board, man. This might be a good time to load up on FXI. If you think 2 years out into the future, which I absolutely have to agree on, I think DeSantis wins running away. Did you see yesterday that they're trotting out Hillary again? I want to know where I can donate money to do this. Please run Hillary on abortion up to the moment of birth for president. I want that to be their main focus. If you think Americans support abortion up to the moment of birth, which is infanticide, and if you're the Democrat governor, whoops, it was accidentally born, let's keep it over in the corner until we decide what to do with it. Please, I'm begging Democrats to run on this issue. I will donate for you guys to run on that issue. Here's what I'm getting at. In 2 years from now, we, the United States, and China, our economies and stock markets better have recovered. Or we're like really, really in a bad way. So take a look at this. FXI, man, buying some 40 calls. That's really interesting. Yeah, trot, exactly. So, whoever just talked about it, I think it already happened, folks. That's their big drop, in my opinion. I think they've already had it. I'd be a buyer of FXI here. Does anybody, guys, look at this. This, ladies and gentlemen, what was this right here? That's the COVID crash, folks. We are lower than the COVID crash. It's already, and look, for all you technical analysis folks up here, that's a double top right there. I mean, we can definitely go lower again, but guys, this is what I'm saying. A 2-year trade. We're in weekly options, but I'm giving you my strategic brief. When I see a trade, I recommend a trade. It's FXI 2 years out into the future. Buy these 40 calls and put them in a safe deposit box, man. I mean, that's some good stuff right there. Ukrainian elite unit claims sabotage ops inside Russia. Ooh, I like that, man. This was a good read. I kind of know about some of this stuff, shooting some shit with some guys who do this stuff, maybe. Does anybody think that Blackwater, or what used to be called Blackwater, doesn't have a big contract with the Ukrainian government to go do some shit? Did you see a couple days ago or last week that a Russian ammo depot blew up, and the Russians, of course, said, "Oh, it was somebody dropped like a fuse or something like that"? Bill, nice job. So Bill did that. Bill already got into his China stuff when I said last time. So I like that. Nice job, man. His calls are already in the money. So see, I'm not just an idiot. I told you back here. I said I'm feeling it. Even with these China lockdowns, you might be earlier. They can't be locked down forever. This was their second lockdown, guys. And here's where we are. Strategic trade idea of the day, get long FXI now. So planting explosives behind the front lines, behind the border. This is the reason they're really covert is what? Because Zelensky keeps telling everybody, nope, we're not going to attack Russia at all because we're defensive only. Woe is us. But of course, you lie to girls, you don't lie to your buddies. So this is, the Shaman Battalion, an elite Ukraine Special Forces unit behind enemy lines. Good stuff. So, Frank, always a good red team, man. You guys know I believe that. So, Frank, let's talk through this. The red team to your red team is China is watching Ukraine. Now, the main difference between Ukraine and Taiwan is what? It's a fucking island. You can surround it, you can naval blockade it, you can do all sorts of shit. So it ain't Ukraine. But China watching what's going on in Ukraine, first of all, they're waiting a little bit more to see what? The economic sanctions. Because look what happened with Russia. McDonald's gone, this gone, or initially, Russia got kicked pretty hard in the jimmy, didn't they? However, right now, that pain's kind of going away a little bit, isn't it? Matter of fact, Vlad's like, thanks for making oil $115. Appreciate it. We are punching ourselves in the face with the Russian sanctions. Here's what I'm rambling through. I don't know if China takes Taiwan by force, where it's like a no shit amphibious landing and all that type of stuff, like a full blown, Clancy novel. I think it, like Poncho talked about a while ago, a 5th generation war, cyber, electronic, soft. They got agents all running. China's got agents all over Taiwan. They might go United States. There's already a Taiwan kind of anti-war party and all sorts of stuff like that. And Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said what recently? We believe in the one China policy. There is one China. Taiwan is not an independent country. So there's some weird shit going on. But Frank did a great job. If you're looking at buying long calls out into the future, the biggest risk to that is war with Taiwan. But I got to be honest with you guys, I don't think that's bearish too much for FXI. Do you all sitting here today honestly believe that LeBron James and Nike are going to stop using concentration camp labor? We are pulling out of China today. Does anybody in this brief thinks that the NBA doesn't give a shit about the United States audience, which is about this big. All they care about is China. China is smart, folks. These people will fold like a cheap suit. When it comes down to choosing between China and money or not China and money, what do you think they're going to do? You got it, Mike. China is in this for 1,000 years, not tomorrow. Does everybody remember where I was? I was in South Bend, Indiana. I had gone up to St. Joe's, Michigan to speak at Whirlpool. Sitting at the airport Sunday after my speech, looking at it, I'm like, oh, for the love of God. What's his name? Mnuchin and Lighthizer, right? We're in China to negotiate a trade deal, whichever version of it was, when they called Trump and they said, yeah, they're kind of reneging on the trade deal because what did they say? They think Joe Biden is going to win and they're going to wait you out. Trump blew a gasket, grabbed the steering wheel, assaulted a Secret Service agent, and said, get on the airplane and come home. We're done. They ended up being right. China, Xi Jinping, don't have an election every 4 years. They can sit there and wait us out. So, anyway, let's get operational. Central bank meeting. Jerome Powell literally said, I think we can overshoot, man. There's a good chance that we're going to overshoot. I had that article up here, but yeah, he just kind of said, yeah. And then what numbers did we get this morning, folks? US Q1, the final GDP came out. Did you see it? Worse than reported. So a link to NBC News and the Washington Post. Appreciate it, Werner. So what happened this morning? Q1 GDP, negative 1.6. Wow, negative 1.6. Personal consumption collapsed. Unbelievable. Inflation, the highest since June of 81, ladies and gentlemen, before the Falkland Islands War. So, stagflation it is, not what the Fed wants to see. So I saw the other day, who was it? One of the big economists. What was his name? I forget. He's still calculating inflation the way we used to do it, and we're at 15% inflation, folks. We're not at 8 something. We are not at 8, folks. It's double. That's just use that as your rule of thumb. Whatever the government says inflation is today, it's double based on the way we used to do it. Bill Ackman, these people are so stupid, folks. God is awesome. We nailed the COVID crash all the way down. People like Bill Ackman and all these, they were idiots. Where's what's her name? Morningwood. ARC founder admits she got inflation wrong, but I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. Okay. The smartest people in the room, ladies and gentlemen, got it all wrong. We didn't. A year and a half ago. Stop with the QE, raise interest rates now. I know something about smooth landings, even though I'm a naval aviator. In my L-39, man, I grease it on the runway because I'm paying for the brakes. and the tires. In the Hornet, slam. So all these people whose sole job is to get things right have gotten the biggest things wrong. But keep throwing your money and keep having a lady like this charge you a fee to be wrong. This is why I don't take in money. I don't manage people's money. I do me and my family, man. I have my own little family office. I couldn't imagine having to deal with investors, like being this much of an idiot. So, you know, look at these numbers. It was 1.8 versus 3.1. Price index 8.2 versus 8.1. I mean, all the numbers this morning were bad. The median home price has jumped 15% from a year ago. Interest rates going up, 30-year going up, the 30-year fixed rate going up, everything going up, and home prices going up. All of this shit going on at the same time is bad. There's a ton of people working here, guys. Trust me. You should see what this place looks like. It's insane. I was going to go to the hangar, but it's either helicopter noise or belt sander noise. Andrew, it cracks me up though that people, but it's just lazy people, right? She was all over CNBC, and folks, when the market's going straight up, everybody's a genius. Everybody's a genius. And then right now, we're a genius. Exactly. Thought it was my tinnitus. Nope. Crypto fund. 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I said this. 3 Arrows. It's a crypto hedge fund. 3 Arrows Capital suffered losses and raised punishing decline in cryptocurrencies, folks. Again, the smartest people in the room, man. 3 orders. 3 Arrows was ordered to liquidate. Wow. Again, a hedge fund where you paid money to invest for you. Knew this was going to happen. How about the Luna thing? A 30-year-old Luna guy from 119 to a penny, or actually a fraction of a penny in 24 hours. Well, we're coming out with Luna Part 2. The actual physical definition of a Ponzi scheme is you got to get new people in to pay the old people, the original people. Somebody tell me how this isn't the classic definition of a Ponzi scheme. How do you make value in this thing? Well, you get other people in. Oh. Well, what's the underlying thing? Well, it doesn't do anything. Store value, current currency hedge against inflation. The government doesn't know about it. You don't pay taxes on it. Wrong. Celsius. Wow. The lender. Do you remember what this guy said, the Celsius dude? This is fucking Captain Smith on the bridge of the Titanic. We are safer than a bank. His exact quote. Mashinsky built his crypto lender into a giant on a pitch that it was less risky than a bank with better returns for customers. I have zero sympathy, easy for me to say, for anybody who lost money in this. We're safer than a bank, and we make more for you than a bank. I'm not going to waste time on this. I'm not even going to waste my time on it. I warned you. I tried to warn you. I tried. I did my best. Many of you mocked me. for calling it a Ponzi scheme, and I knew it the entire time. So we're flopping around 20 on Bitcoin. Yeah, I think I'm just looking at a technical analysis point of view, folks. It's the next stop is 10. There's your 20 hover. It's 10. It's 10 grand. But this is. I love this type of stuff. Yeah, but in the past 5 years, it's up 700%. Okay, how many of you are in it for 5 years type of thing? How do you feel about the people up here? Oh, I remember at 60, it was 100 grand, it was $1 million. People calling for crypto $1 million. There will literally be history books written about this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. Ether and crypto or Bitcoin might survive. I get all that shit, man. This is the .com bust. Pets.com, e-lottery, all of them gone. There might be an Amazon or a Google. I get it. If you believe Bitcoin and Ethereum, Ether, whatever it's called, survive, buy it with both hands, man. It's up to you. I just, since day one, I have told you, invest in something like this with drinking money. If you don't mind putting a bunch of money on a table and lighting it on fire as you drink champagne, that's the amount of money you should put into this. I knew it. I was right around here, guys, with a $250,000, which would be down 50% easily. I would have lost in that. Wiz would not. That's an airplane. So do what you want with crypto, folks. I see absolutely zero value to it. Not a penny. And I'm not some stodgy old man yelling at it. I looked at it. My JetBlue brother, man, Scott Farnsworth, L39 buddy, years ago. You need to get into this now. It's me to somebody else with a wallet, and Uncle Sam doesn't know about it. It ain't taxable. I'm like, okay, dude. I've always said with this thing, don't buy the up, buy the down, buy the pipes and the shit and the infrastructure. If it is going to be something someday, buy the basement of it. Don't buy the fucking penthouse that could collapse. Anyway, again, I don't like dancing on people's graves who have lost money, significant amount of money, but this was a no-brainer. A year and a half ago, I remember being up at, where was I? Like Alabama, doing like an L39 debt. I remember sitting in the diner with, getting ready to brief and stuff like that, just scrolling through Facebook when that Dogecoin thing was like on fire. And idiots like Mark Cuban, I'll use that term, he is a complete idiot. Great timing with his, whatever it was, Oracle, whatever it was, whatever. We'll take Dogecoin at the Mavericks games. When I had waiters and waitresses on my Facebook feed throwing their life savings into a made-up thing with a dog on it, if you didn't recognize that as hysteria and tulips and a peak, I can't. I can't. It's just, it's sad. You and me, Mark, we're both. There are so many people that should be going to prison for the Korean dude. I mean, I read that the South Korean authorities are looking into it. People are filing complaints. That dude might end up in jail. But he just came out with another coin to all the people who got destroyed in this coin. I'm going to give you a fraction of these. I can't even. I can't. So good for you, Mitch. If you could have taken sniper shots and got out, God bless you, man. But that's kind of the literal, not to, Mitch is a great American, but that's how a Ponzi scheme works. Does anybody remember Bernie Madoff? I do. Palm Beach County. Oh, you can't get in with Bernie. The reason that dude closed off, you read about this shit, man, or watch the Madoff story and everything like that. He actually closed his fund because what? He's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. People were killing to get in with Bernie Madoff. But what happened with the, what's his name, the trustee? The people who got out first, man, he went and clawed back that money. Not saying that's going to happen with crypto. I'm just saying that that's how classic Ponzi schemes work. It's like, dude, I got my money out because it was replaced with new money from waiters and waitresses. So I you know, exactly, Kathy. Oh, I remember that, man. I'm a waiter or waitress. I was a waiter, so I'm not bad mouthing that as your, you know, vocation. But yeah, getting $500,000 loans in 2006, that just wasn't whatever. All right, so earnings recession is coming as the Fed hikes rates. We already talked about this. Too much ranting today, but let's talk trading. This spread yesterday that we covered in the primary live trade brief made $8 or $9 yesterday, and we had 5 contracts on. Men lie, trades don't. So yesterday, I would have closed this. We talked about this in the hunters yesterday, and also the Max Afterburner folks. A bunch of folks closed it yesterday as they, people, $3,800, really nice shots yesterday. I think Mike got out for $4,000. You definitely, oh, Karen, that's another guy. It's commercial free. Actually, it's not. Brought to you by Black Rifle. Oh, I'm not even going to say Black Rifle Coffee. I don't know what's going on over there, and I don't talk to JT about business stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, I would reload if you didn't get out yesterday and take a nice profit. That tells me that you don't have an SOP, right? Because your SOP yesterday would have said, "Holy shit, I made 4." If you did 5 contracts, it was up at one point like a little over $4,000. $4,000 in an hour of quote work is a no-brainer. Remember what I said. This will look like this. Okay. So I don't think this is a big one right here, one of these right now. I still think we do this. It's only Wednesday, folks. We got tomorrow and Friday for some more chopbacks, for some we might even see a quote rally on Friday. So, back down to 3,800. Hold on, let me refresh this. Because, when we do have these like rip your face off short squeezes, we kind of hover for a little bit, even back here. Look at these wild swings we had on this one. I remember this. This was like, 800 up, 1,000 down, 700 up, 6,000 down, or whatever. So I think we get a little bit of a bounce today, or a hover. Maybe even a run back up to 3,900 here. So when you have SPX debit spreads like we talked about yesterday, shoot them, trade them. This is not investing right now, folks. We are tactical. This is tactical employment. So if you didn't get this one on yesterday, it's a good trade to reload today. You can even, what's SPX at right now? 38.25. We might, nice job, Jack. Well done. I agree with you, Rick. Friday can see some pretty good swings. People are hopping on a boat, and I think we're leaving Friday afternoon. So Bart's got his brief Friday morning. It can be a volatile day. Yeah, exactly. Good point, Karen. I'm sorry. Thursday, tomorrow, and then July 1st type of thing. But take a look at this one today. What am I hemming and hawing about? You can maybe even go down a little bit, 75.25. You could have either reloaded with the same one, or maybe go down, try 50. let's look at 3750, buying those, and then down to 3700. I'd reload and roll these down. I like this one. So if you closed yesterday's, I like the 50 double nuts here, 3750, 3700. I like this one. And I know some of you are just in weekly options, so welcome. This ain't a weekly options trade. With the rest of the, because we have some, when's the PCE? Tomorrow. So tomorrow's the last day of the quarter, and we have this stuff, man. This is the big inflation barometer for the Fed. And then we got personal income, personal spending. These three will be big tomorrow. I ain't doing any. I'm doing like day trades with an SPX every once in a while with my sniper shots. I am not putting like Monday on, Friday off type of weekly options trades. It's just not the environment to be doing that. So for the weekly options members, you know, put your radar, scroll your radar out a little bit in range and go out to like a month from now ish with just a bear put spread. And this is a debit spread, guys. I rarely do these. We talked about this yesterday as well. Maybe I'll put the top on this thing, so to speak. The bear put spread covered yesterday in the PLTV. How about we leg into a bearish double vertical? Why don't we take a look at a bear call spread up in time out to 3,900 maybe? Maybe you leg into an iron condor here. Not an iron condor, a double vertical, I'm sorry, 3,900. I wouldn't do wide strikes on these because there's a lot more risk. How about a 25? Yeah, no. No. See, this is interesting. I love doing this because here Wiz really does debit spreads. I do them in this type of environment because look at the bear call spread up here. So 3,900 might be a nice, you know, that's only a 75-point run from here. We could get another violent move back up to 39 before we do the head down. But I don't like this risk to reward here. Risk an 8 to make 4, 45. Yeah, I do. It doesn't matter, the AM or the PM. It's the same metrics more or less. Risk an 8 to make 45. I picked the same expiration for a reason. You could come in a little bit. But you're risking more to make less. I don't like this. I would prefer to stay with the debit spread. Okay? Because remember, folks, with a double vertical, what do you need? You need three R's. You need R cubed. You need to be really, really, really something. And I'm really not, to be honest with you. I kind of think we're going to do one of these legs down, but I'm not willing to throw another one on. That's me. I'm kind of 1 or 2 R's. I don't have a third right now. So that's me. If you like it, bear call spread up here at 3,900. That's a good bounce, resistance. I'm not feeling, no, the answer for me is no, I wouldn't do it. I would just do the debit spread. It's a great point, Brett. Tomorrow you might get that third R. For me today, I wouldn't do it. Chrissy, a little bit, yes. Rick, man, I do not see a catalyst to get us up to that 50, man. Peace in Ukraine. Peace in Ukraine, definitely. No peace in Ukraine. We're adding 2 countries to NATO, Vlad. Oh, that's great. Good idea. Inflation numbers kind of less. Yeah, but I don't. Folks, the debate right now, I've seen some of the central bank lieutenants saying what? Yeah, I support. Everybody kind of supports another 75 in July. That might be a buying moment there, folks. If we get another 75 in July, I think it might be a buy the news. I think that might be a little bit of a because I think we might get 75 in July and then them talk about maybe a 50 in the fall and maybe ending the year with a 25. I think that's them trying to. If they land this thing safely, I'll eat my hat, man. I'm the first one to admit when I'm wrong. You know, but a run up to the 50 for no reason, I don't. There has to be a reason to do that. You know. Karen, that's great work. I like everybody read what Karen wrote. That's a good. She's dogfighting. Karen, that's dogfighting right there, guys. Okay, and Christine over in the Max Afterburner group was doing that for a while too. I was doing that for a little while too, and then I got bored. With a wide spread on SPX with short and long legs, you can dogfight the legs, right? The short's making money, close it. The long's making money, close it, and reload the other one. That's some blue collar work to do, but hey man, if it's making money, you're getting paid to do the work, right? I just don't have. That's kind of a sit here and stare. If you got that kind of time, I'll put that on my calendar to kind of do a dogfight brief. So. Reason I think it's possible is because the bullish sector count has been going up since the last Tuesday. As of yesterday, 27 out of 45. Rick, I know you watch all that stuff. Things move for a reason, right? So I'd need, I don't know, man. But Rick has a point. The longer we're doing this, folks, the longer we're doing that, what happens to these moving averages? You see them doing it right now. They're coming down to the market. So, it's not going to take much in the future for the SPX to actually hit the 50-day, right? This is a Wall Streetism right now. If you can't hit the ball over the net, lower the net. So we're going to, and to his point, when the SPX hits a moving average like this, it can be either what? Hit it and implode, or it might be what? A bullish symbol, folks, indicator. So this is what's interesting, man. Take a look at the moving averages kind of dying down to the market. That might actually be a buy signal. So, yeah, boring is good. So you guys know me. I do have cash on the sidelines where I'm just kind of sitting here going, I'm getting ready, man. I'm close. Close but no cigar. I don't think this will be a perfectly timed bottom because I don't think it will be an event bottom. I don't think it'll be the Fed stopping something. I don't think it'll be peace in Ukraine, anything like that. So, and the MACD did have its crossing down here. So it's MACD, moving average convergence divergence. That's the name of that thing. But I like MACD. I'm actually going to be flying tomorrow morning. I'm going to be offensive. Doc's going to be defensive. We're going to do a defensive BFM hop tomorrow morning before the brief. I love flying at the crack of dawn down here because even at the crack of dawn, it's hot as shit. I can't fly that airplane in the middle of the day. It's hell. It's the only problem about flying those jets in Florida is you got to fly either at sunset or sunrise because it's just hot. So we just had a crossing right here. So keep an eye on this, man. There might be some further pain ahead here. Exactly. Eat a banana. Chrissy, I don't. There's a bunch of different oscillators. Some people call them MACD oscillators. So I'm not a big. The little bit of technical analysis I do, I show you. I'm not super Bart or, these people are, that do these chartered, Bart's a CMT. He can draw circles around me with the charting stuff, but maybe ask Bart, Chrissy. Go to Bart's brief Friday morning, and Bart can be able to answer that question. So, all right, guys. So there you go. Graham loading the boat with a little bit of Graham's doing an FXI out to January of 2023. So he bought some bullish calls right here, and he's selling front month upside calls against it to make some money to pay for them. Love this trade, Graham. Well done. This is why you want to be in the lifetime group, or you want to be in the hunters, because you get to see what your squadron mates are doing. I love this trade right there, Graham. Very well done. And Mike reloading his boat with a bear put spread. Sweet. Awesome. So, all right, guys, good stuff. Went over a little bit today. The only thing I'd be doing is reloading the bear put spread that we talked about yesterday, either lower strikes as the market's starting to give some back here during our brief, back down towards 3,800. JG already on his reload that JG did, he's already up 36%, man. So if you had reloaded that bear put spread back here when I started this brief at about 10 a.m., now you're making money. Awesome. This is good shit. I love it. All right, one more brief tomorrow morning with me. Then you got Bart on Friday. I gave you a 60% discount to hang out with Bart for a month. If you didn't get it, it's a little late, but Bart will have you guys on Friday. Let me see if I got anything else going on in my group. Chop. Nope. All right, we're good. Ann, what's your question about Hood? I'm in it. I don't have any changes to it. I bought 1,000 shares of Hood yesterday, sold some upside calls against it. The calls are up 56% right now. Sold some calls on Mara that are obviously up. I might even add to Robinhood. I might buy another 1,000 shares. I'm going to accumulate Robinhood and just keep selling at the money calls against it. It is. Please watch yesterday's brief because it's still an acquisition takeover target, man. Even though FTX, even though they declined to buy it, it doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to buy it. The fact that there was rumors. Somebody's going to buy Robinhood, folks, period. I'm sticking with that. That was my commit criteria day one when we looked at getting bullish on Robinhood. It obviously went down since that time, but it going down makes it even more of an attractive takeover target at this point. Okay? So, all right, guys, I got to go. Time to go hit the gym. I didn't do yoga this morning, so time to go actually throw some iron around. Have a good rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. Fights on. And namaste. I'll talk to you guys later.